Okay, be honest with me. Have you ever found yourself dealing with someone who doesn't just accidentally upset you, but actually seems to get a real kick out of stinging you? You know the type. They aren't just having a bad day, and they aren't just stressed out. They genuinely enjoy watching your face change, your voice shake, or seeing you just shut down. Well, welcome to today's explainer. I am so excited to share this one with you because today we are breaking down a fascinating tactical approach to completely disarm people who actually enjoy hurting others.
Right, we've all been there. We've all seen their playbook. Maybe it's that one coworker, a relative at a holiday family dinner, or even someone you thought was a friend. They poke, they provoke, they drop that smiling insult. But here is the truly maddening part. The second you react, they totally flip the script on you. Suddenly you're overreacting, or you're just falling into the too sensitive trap. It's literally a game to them, and they've been playing it for a long, long time. But by the end of this explainer, you are going to know exactly how to stop playing.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll cover the emotional energy collector, peek into the psychology of cruelty, look at what does not work, dive into the 5 powerful responses, and wrap up with reclaiming your peace. Let's jump right in.
All right, part 1, the emotional energy collector. Let's get really clear on exactly who we're dealing with here. This concept is an absolute game changer. It completely reframes how we look at these interactions. These people aren't just socially awkward. They are emotional energy collectors. They actively hunt for your emotional reactions. Your embarrassment, your frustration, your anger. To them, that is literal fuel. They siphon off your emotional output just to feel powerful. It's wild when you start noticing it. Moving on to part 2, the psychology of cruelty. Let's slip behind enemy lines for a second and see what's actually going on in their heads.
You know, most folks think these people are like obvious cartoon villains, but they're really not. They look totally normal. They hold doors open, they laugh at jokes, but internally, when you win, they literally feel like they lost. When you shine, they feel invisible. They attack your peace because your confidence and your groundedness remind them of exactly the security they're missing.
Think about it like a kid in the school cafeteria who doesn't have anything for lunch. Instead of, finding a solution or asking a teacher for help, they just walk over and smack your lunch tray off the table. Boom. Now you have nothing either, and for some twisted reason that makes them feel better. They aren't powerful at all, they're just hungry and miserable. They would way rather drag you down into the mud than do the heavy lifting of pulling themselves up. Okay, part 3. What does not work? We've got to strip away some of our really common flawed defense mechanisms. Understanding why our gut reactions completely fail us is so crucial here. When someone comes for you, your instinct is probably to get defensive, right? You try to explain yourself, you argue, but remember, they want emotion, not logic. Defensiveness just hands them the receipts. It proves they got under your skin. On the flip side, and I've totally done this too, maybe you just go quiet and force a smile, trying to be the bigger person. But listen to me, going quiet when someone deliberately hurts you isn't peace, it's permission. It silently tells them, hey, feel free to do that again. Which brings us to part 4, the 5 powerful responses. This right here is your new tactical playbook. We're looking at 5 specific moves that toxic people genuinely have zero idea how to handle. The pause, naming it, agreeing, asking why, and the exit. And hey, you don't have to throw all of these at them at once. Think of it like a tool belt. Each tool has a specific job. Let's break them down. Tool number 1 isn't even a word, it's a decision. You just pause. When they say something designed to sting, do not rush in to fill that awkward silence. Don't force a polite chuckle, just take a really slow breath. Look at them the way a doctor looks at a patient with a weird rash. Just mild clinical curiosity. This cuts their fuel line instantly. They came looking for pain or anger, and when you just give them a calm, blank pause, they completely lose their script. It basically says, wow, you really didn't move me at all. Try again. And usually they won't. Now, to get why the second tool works so well, you've got to understand a little thing called plausible deniability. People who love hurting others absolutely rely on this. They'll drop a nasty remark and then instantly hide behind, whoa, I was just joking, or geez, you're being so sensitive today. They thrive in that muddy, ambiguous water so they can play the victim. So to counter that, you pull out tool number 2, name it. You don't yell or get flustered. With total quiet certainty, you just say, that felt like it was meant to hurt me. Or, that sounded like a jab, was it?
You are literally just narrating what happened out loud, ripping away their hiding spot. Now, they either have to own up to being a jerk or double down and look completely ridiculous in front of everyone. Either way, you win, just by telling the unvarnished truth. Tool number 3 is going to feel really counterintuitive, but it is incredibly powerful. Agree. Seriously. Not because they're right, but because it totally disarms them. If they scoff and say, "You always mess things up," you just calmly shrug and reply, "You know what? I've made some pretty big mistakes before. You're not wrong." You just find one tiny microscopic thread of truth to agree with. It shows them you have absolutely no soft spots, no unhealed wounds for them to poke at. You're completely comfortable with who you are. To someone hunting for your insecurities, that is devastating. Tool number 4 is short, sweet, and absolutely brilliant. Ask why. When they try to sting you, look at them with genuine, calm curiosity. Slow it way down and ask, why did you want to say that? Notice I didn't say the defensive, why would you say that? No, it's why did you want to? This forces them to out loud examine their own weird motivations. They're used to causing chaos and tears. They are totally lost when you just hand them a calm, curious mirror. The awkward silence that follows that question, it's going to speak volumes. And finally, tool number 5, the clean, quiet exit. No storming off in a huff, no crying on the way to the car. You just stand up, say something super mundane like, "Excuse me, I'll be right back," or honestly say nothing at all and just walk away at a totally normal pace. Remember, emotional energy collectors desperately need a live audience. They need the friction of your reaction. By just evaporating cleanly, you starve them. What they feel next isn't satisfaction, it's confusion and pure panic because they're left all alone holding the bag of their own bad behavior. All right, wrapping up with part 5, reclaiming your peace, because this isn't just about party tricks, it's about making a permanent philosophical shift. Think of your boundaries like a classroom. People who enjoy hurting others are always testing the limits. Every single time you laughed off a nasty jab, or over-explained yourself, or just pretended everything was fine, you unknowingly handed them a curriculum that said, hey, this is allowed here. But you have the absolute power to change the curriculum today. Stop doing those things. Every time you pause, or name it, or just walk away, you are teaching them a brand new lesson on exactly how you are going to be treated. And honestly, the best part? When you consistently enforce this new curriculum, something incredible clicks inside you. You stop leaking all that precious energy. You hit this deep, unshakable groundedness, and they can sense it from across the room. They look at you and just know that coming for you is a total waste of time. You haven't just intimidated them, you have fundamentally transformed into someone who simply does not play their weird little game. You literally become unplayable. Which brings us to the end of our explainer. And I want to leave you with a really provocative thought to chew on today. Nobody deserves cruelty, right? But we do control our boundaries. Think about the toxic people in your orbit right now. What have you been doing that kind of told them this behavior was okay? And way more importantly, which of those 5 responses are you going to pull out tomorrow to completely rewrite that curriculum? Thank you so much for hanging out with me to explore this. Keep learning, stay grounded, and I will see you in the next explainer.